I was kind of cagey about what I saw in January when I was like hallucinating and driving because I wasn't really sure who was trying to kill me. I don't know how to make that cute. I wasn't sure who was trying to kill me and who did it because there was so much deception in it. And like after the event, the people who I talked to about it, they seemed like it was fucked up, but like they seemed like they weren't trying to talk about it either, maybe for the same reasons. But now I think it's important, right? Because it was me driving through Ohio, and as I was driving, all the street signs were changing. Ever like it was like, but it wasn't like it. Ohio was like the peak of the craziness. The shit really popped off when I was in Indiana. That's where people were like recognizing me. That's where at that point I was a Sea Blue Red Bull addict. That shit was crazy. My heart is having palpitations. Do I have two hearts? Every time I grab my heart, I'm grabbing over here. And I feel a pulse. I'm gonna crash out. I'm gonna crash out because this is my right side, bro. But anyway, I was driving and I saw. All right, let's. Cause okay, there. I'll give them nicknames, and people should like if you are in the know or if you know you're. I don't know. Let's just fuck it. Fuck it. I just try not to get arrested for libel or defamation. But it was Puppy and Junebug. And they were like coming towards me like they had fused into some horrific, like ripped, sexy, like mixed beast. But they were attacking me. They were trying to attack me. And like the whole time my music's playing and like it's getting spooky because it's like while I'm seeing that it's like two by Baby No Money and Tia Tamara, right? So it's like those energies are like super aggressive and also super like, oh yeah, we're teaming up. Like people talk about how Hot in Here starts off evil. Tia Tamara has the most evil like starting sound in the world, bro. And then in two, it's like one to the kidney, two to the dome type shit, right? Um, but I feel like that was also later in the journey. Like when I was driving, that was actually when I was more so when I was in PA after that had happened in the car. When I was in Ohio, I had the cursed Red Bull in Ohio. There was like one Red Bull pushed aside, and there was also um, a lapis lazuli bracelet. And I was like, I thought I knew who put that there. And like when I was in the mental hospital in Philly, everybody was done up in crystals, right? So I was like, oh okay, okay. But now I don't think so. I think that was like a red herring. Um, but like when I put it was a curse bracelet. I didn't realize until later. When I was back in Missouri and still wearing it, that whenever I would put it on, that hand would have like um, mm, edema, and so I like got rid of it eventually, right? But when I was in the car in Ohio, I saw myself, my cousin, my pen pal, and then it was one of my mutuals on here who I like blocked. because it was kind of sussy. But she was a bad bitch. And I low key love her, and I feel like um, she's connected to something. And I feel like everybody in here, like they have other interests. I feel like I'm the only bitch who doesn't have other interests. Maybe me and my cousin, but even my cousin, when I say that, I feel like a tingling, like she is connected to something, because why else would you leave the country? I mean, there's a lot of reasons why, right? But like the more I think about it, the more I'm like, right? But I was in this car and they were helping me, like at a certain point, because at first, I'm trying to drive east. My mom told me when I was younger that we're at we lived the very end of Route 40. So I was trying to follow Route 40, but I had a compass in my car. And even though the signs were saying Route 40 East, that was not the way they were taking me. So I had to like circumnavigate that shit myself. No GPS. I was Lewis and Clarking it. Like that freestyle is crazy. Um so I was trying to navigate that, and I'm driving around after I had this Red Bull, like it was like the shadows started to consume my vision, and I'm like, oh nah. But I've been crazy for a long time, so it's not the first time shadows started to consume my vision. I was like, I had shadows consuming my vision, and I worked 40 hours a week at a 9 to 5, and I had to wake up in the morning at like 6 a.m. and drive an hour and a half. I'm built for this, bitch. And I'm driving in the meantime, like I'm like, you know, I like my mom's taught me how to drive defensively, and my dad taught me how to drive fast. So I was really on my like, I'm the ultimate life form. It doesn't matter. Now what happens? I was like going. I was crazy. But like I had like gone off the road, and I was like in Ohio for a bit. And when I was in Ohio, I like was hearing the voice of like someone I knew. Um, and like I had my Stitch plushie and like the passenger seat so that I could like more clearly communicate with it. The voice, that is. And it was like trying to lead me down wrong paths and stuff and set me up and all this other shit. And I'm like, you suck. And while all this is happening, right, I tell my mom that I'm on my way home for this funeral. And she's like, let me know when you come in. And then at one point, like, she called me and was like, was that you? And then I called 911 and, reported that I think something's going on with my mom in Baltimore. And they're like, you're calling us from Ohio. And I was like, yeah, bitch. Mostly not to like regardless of if they could help my mom or not, it establishes an alibi because they had my phone number, they had my voice, they had the routing. It's like I was nowhere near home when it happened because I felt like I was about to be set up for um my mom getting pushed down the stairs. I had like a lot of visions of her being pushed down the stairs and dying um prior to this. So after she called me and that happened, I felt like her presence had like crossed over. And it was like this really emotional experience of like I get to be with my dad again and all this other shit. It was like really intense, and I was crying, and then it affected my vision in this way where I was more able to kind of look past the light codes of the typical earthly experience and kind of see more than that, like extraterrestrially. And it's never been that intense. But I think that was like one, I don't know when I got drugged. I have a theory that was getting drugged for a long time while I was in Missouri, because I was getting like there were only a few places where I could like get food from, and I was like really autistically only getting the same thing. Um, but yeah, it was really tragic, and the voice that was there was kind of like mocking me a little bit at first. When they saw like how much I love my mom, they were like, "Ah, shit, I fucked this up. This bitch loves her mama." And then I was like, I was really trying to sell it, so I went to like there was like a nearby police station, and I was like, I feel like I'm being followed, but like they wouldn't follow me to the police station, and if I parked there and like especially in like their trainee parking lot, I feel like that makes them think that I'm connected to something and kind of like leave me alone. A lot of this journey has me pretending like I'm connected to a lot of things so other people would leave me alone, like a lot of agencies and organizations. And um, at that point, it's up to you to decide, chat. But I like there was like an eternal flame there, and I was like, oh, this is hardcore. I went over there and I started the Star Spangled Banger, not Star Spangled Banger, but truly, the Star Spangled Banner, because I was aura farming and it was lit. But yeah, at that point, the voice was like, "Oh no, she loves her mama and America." I done fucked up. The PR for this is not gonna look good. And I remember I like stopped to get gas, and at that point, he's like, "You should just go home." And it's like, I don't really want to go home. I want to like go back to you at this point because this is like a little bit nuts. And it's like, you should go home. Um, and I was like roasting it in the talking out loud to it in the grocery store, and like there were a bunch of stickers at the gas station, and I like smacked a sticker. I like tagged it with one of my stickers, and I know I don't really know where I was, and I don't know if that part was real, but if it was, there was a sticker there to kind of like mark that, and they're limited release because I hand printed and hand cut those. But it was just like a lot of driving. And then by the time I got to Ohio, after that weird drink in Indiana, I'm sorry, all the locations were really vague because I was like sleep deprived. I hadn't slept for like 4 days. I look back at it. I maybe took a nap. I didn't sleep for like 4 days. Energy drinks and like mental health conditions. But when I was driving through the street, those people like came to guide me as all this mist was coming, and I got to one intersection, and Hakate was there. Is it safe to share my petition? No, but she basically said that like this was because this happened because my petition was not specific enough in the way that she had warned me it wouldn't be, and that I had asked for this. And I was like, "Oh, bitch, I'm gonna punch you in the fucking face," and I swung on her. And then I am revising it, and then at that point I drove through Ohio and I made my way into PA, and I was in Pennsylvania for a few days just trying to make sense of that. Um, like specifically like by the Pittsburgh airport, and I like called my mom and told her what happened. Oh, I'm missing a huge part. Sorry. So like after all that stuff happened, um, I like ate the energy that was talking to me. I, like devoured it because it wasn't just a person; it was a person who was like tied to. I said it was a jinn, but I really think it was a demon. But I did that, and I bound it. I said I bound it to a ring, but not really. I didn't. Or did I? I think it was less about binding it to the ring and more about that I like ate the energy. And then I kind of like shifted real hard. And then I called my mom and she was okay when I was in the Pittsburgh airport. And I like told her everything that happened. And she told me that I should probably go to um, get checked out. And then when I did go get checked out, like yeah, the jewelry was one thing. And then I made a couple of jokes that they laughed at that wouldn't have been funny if they were not aware of some other bullshit that I had been dealing with. Should I mention that? Yeah, mostly about like whoever was fucking with me, they have this really serious piss kink. It's like far more serious than a piss kink should ever be. But like one of the main drivers of them putting me through all this shit is they got off on watching me piss in the street. So I made a joke about like they asked for a urine sample and I was like, "Oh, for a second I thought you wanted me to piss right here." And then they like it wasn't a normal crack up. That shit had them rolling. And then when I got into my room, there was like a piss pad in there too. So I was like, "Oh, can I say that or is that gonna incriminate it?" Yeah. But like that was a part of it. But the part that really threw me off is when I was driving, right? Um, I knew that I really had to be protective of my glasses because I need them to drive. It's on my license that I need my glasses to drive. Um, so I had like taken them off and like stored them away so that nothing would happen to them. Um, and they were like stored at the police station because I went to. Oh, that's the other part. So from the uh I was in the parking lot of the airport. It was like my base of operations for a few days because when I like came to at first in PA, I was like still like seriously drugged, so drugged that I knew that I had been drugged and something was wrong with me, but not. And I couldn't like really figure out what to do, so I just kept like trying to get help. And like the help, they were like, "Oh, it's like you should go to the police," and I was like, "Oh no, that's gonna get me set up. I don't know if I should do that." Um, and I was like trying to figure out what to do with my rental car because I was doing all this in a rental car. Um, and like when I tried to return the rental car, they just like randomly were like Jordan. I was like, what are you guys saying? A whole bunch of people just started saying a whole bunch of like weird random names that I sort of like knew. And like there were certain celebrities who were at the airport. I keep seeing celebrities at the airport. I realize now that's what celebrities do. Celebrities are always at the airport, so I'm not trying to draw too many conclusions. But the celebrity I saw at the airport had made a work of fiction that was so similar to my life now and in the past, and now I'm like, oh, that was a little bit suspicious. Even to the point where the actress in the reimagining of that movie was from my hometown. So I was like, okay, sir. And you just over here looking. And from the same neighborhood as one of my former bosses who I think was like involved, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I do know. I do know. I don't know. Um, so, like, I came to the conclusion that it'd probably be just safer for me to drive home. But I called my mom, and she was like, "You should probably go to a mental hospital." But I told her that after I told her about like the fact that I saw my two fuckboys merging into evil one. And I was like, you know what? It's probably a good idea. Not necessarily because I feel insane, but I did feel really insane. And I also did need to get medication. But also because a 72-hour hold is like, I'm not going to be able to get out, but they're not going to be able